All right, what's going on, guys? Happy Tuesday. The 14th. Man, this month is just flying by. I don't know what it is, man. Like, just like time goes on, as time goes on, it just seems like time moves faster. It seems like we've had kids. It's like time moves like three times as fast. How many of you guys have kids? Like most of you guys. Man, isn't it crazy like that? Like once you have them, you're like, we just had them and now they're six. Like my son just turned 5 yesterday, and I'm like, I feel like we just got him. Like he just showed up like yesterday. Like I'm still figuring it out. It's wild. I man. Huh. All right. Well, glad you guys are here. Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys had a fantastic start to the week, an awesome Monday, and a great weekend. Today we're gonna get into the Black Friday stuff because a lot of you guys have asked about that. We have Black Friday coming up. What two Friday? Is that 2 Thursdays still from now, or is that 1 Thursday from now? No, it's 2 Thursdays. So we have the 16th, which is this Thursday. Or sorry, I'm thinking Thursday, Friday. Duh, Black Friday, not Black Thursday. Um, there's this Friday, and then the following Friday is the 24th, the weekend that proceeds um, Thanksgiving holiday there here in the States. And I think it's still Black Friday is still a thing in the rest of the country too. So I think this applies to everybody. We started it though because we're Americans and we like to spend all the money we make. So we're not resourceful, most of us, anyways. So we're gonna show you today. I'm gonna talk to you guys and show you guys how to be the beneficiaries of that because everybody's sitting on like whatever little bit of extra cash they have right now and is trying to think about what can I spend this money on that's going to have the highest return on investment for me and where can I get the most value from it. So where can I save some money in the short term? Where can I bring we're going to spend some money to save myself some money, and also where can I get a return out of it, right? And we all know, hopefully you're all sold, hopefully you get super high on your own supply and already believe that this is the best thing that they can buy with their money, right? And if you do believe that, hopefully you're talking about that and you're edifying why, and you can show the proof of why, and you're giving the emotional reasons and hooks as to why they need to do that here. Hopefully you're doing that all the time. Wink, wink. But Black Friday is an opportunity to demonstrate a little extra value, to bundle some value, to stack some value. And if anything, it's just a blatant, obvious time of the year where we get to pitch super hard. Like Black Friday is like you get to pitch right straight at people. You get to be like, buy my stuff. And like no one can like guilt you for being too, overwhelming or pitching too much because that's literally what the day is about, right? Is about that. So we're gonna dive into that today. We're of course gonna get into, before we dive deep into the thick of it, we'll do 3 wins. We're going to bring that back around. I think last week's call, because of the time change, we were a little rushed, so we didn't really do the 3 wins like we normally do. So we're going to, here in a minute, call on 3 of you guys to share 3 wins. And the first person, the lucky soul gets to go first, is someone who hasn't shared before. So if you're like, I have never taken myself off mute on this call before and shared a win, that means I'm looking at you. And there's a few of you guys. Let's see who the brave ones are. I'm going to give you a second here because I'm going to talk a little bit about what we're going to get into today with the Black Friday thing. But I want, someone who hasn't shared before. It could be someone who's been with us a year. It could be someone who's been with us a month. It could be someone who's been with us a week, right? And that win can be anything. I'm making it super easy. I'm literally telling you what you can say to, because I'll literally sit here waiting for someone to share their first win so the other 2 people can share. So if you haven't shared before, don't be the bottleneck. Let's step up. Okay. And share a win, right? And that could be anything. It could be, hey, I signed up with BLG and we got things going. Hey, I got my website live and leads are coming. It could be, we had a PR month. Oh, look at that. Someone already jumped off. They got scared. Someone just jumped off. It's funny.
I
So
can
yeah.
go first if you want, if we're
Oh,
ready.
Dan, we already got our, yeah, Dan, what's up, man? Dan, what's your, I can just see Dan, last name and Jim.
Yeah, last name is Felipa.
Okay,
Gym
cool.
is Life Fitness. I've been a member just barely a month now.
Awesome.
So big win. I actually found you guys because of your free Facebook ads video. And
Good.
in the last 2 weeks, I think I got a very small gym, maybe 30, 35 members.
Uh-huh.
Um, Closed 6 leads in 2 weeks.
Heck yeah.
So that's like massive percent out of 30 members.
Yeah, it's a 20% increase
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
client acquisition, right? That's huge, man. That's hopefully you can keep 20% going, all the way to the moon,
That's right.
you know. Well, congrats, man. Yeah, I'm
Thank you.
super excited here. I love action takers, man. To get those kind of results, you clearly are doing the stuff in there because I mean, you can't get those kind of results by just like, I mean, some people do. We do have people that just we roll the system out and it just starts working, but generally most gym owners that kind of have those big wins are generally taking action with the stuff in that first 30 days. So that's awesome for you. Was it the ad stuff or was it getting some of the organic stuff up and the
It was
website like that?
ads. No, it was
It was,
ads.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, we
Awesome.
basically had no lead flow other than walk-ins, so it was
Yeah.
huge.
Is your gym a pretty new gym or has it been around for a while or what's
Year and a half.
so pretty new? Okay. I'd say like on this
Yep, and it was
spectrum.
fresh. Not we didn't
Yeah.
buy anything. We started, brand new.
Yeah, year and a half is pretty young for a gym. I'd say that's pretty young because most gyms that are in the space currently are like 5+ years. So
Right.
yeah, congrats, man. Way to get after it.
Thank
And
you.
really, honestly, for a young gym, like I always tell people there's three ways that a business gets traffic, gets people to raise their hands and say, "Hey, I want to do business with you." It's like either you earn it, and earning it is like organic, and you earn that, and that takes time, right? You got to get the reviews, you got to create a lot of social proof, you got to create a lot of buzz, you have to go out there and work for that, or you just let time do it for you, which is lazily what a lot of gym owners do. But you can proactively build social proof, which is what we talk a lot about, which you should definitely focus on doing because you can leapfrog probably a lot of your competition who's been around longer. Because I look at gyms all the time, and honestly, most of them are probably just sitting there, like whatever they get, they get. Whereas you can go out and get after it, and it's there for the taking. So that's earning it, and then owning it is like people that already know of you and are on your list that you can follow up with. Which when you're new, you don't really have a big list that you own. So really, like earning it and owning it's really for a young gym where you don't have a lot of traffic, there's not a lot there. So really it leaves that third option of going and buying it, which we can all do, right? Which does require the risk of putting a little bit of money into your ads, but it does get you the traffic. You're basically saying, hey, Facebook, hey, Google, hey, whatever, here's some money. You have all this traffic landing on your website because that's all Facebook and Google are websites. Can you send some of your traffic my way, the ones that are looking for what I'm selling? And then they're going to say, sure, yeah, here's the price. Do what you want with that. Right. So, shout out to you for like recognizing that, whether you purposely did that or not, but generally for a young gym, uh, you have to drive traffic one of those three ways, and buying it's a great way early on to do it. So congrats on the wins, man. Hopefully next month when we do this call, you can jump back on and share that you grew by another 20%. And then
Yes, thank
you can
you.
yeah, if you can do that through this season, man, the 2024 is going to be a great year for you.
Our goal is 50, so we're trying.
Oh yeah. Easy money. You got that in the bag, man. Let's do that. Let's do that by February. I think that's no problem. That's a very reasonable ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome. Cool. Who wants to go second?
I'll go.
Oh, okay.
All right. Is Adrian?
Yeah, man. So
Adrian, what's up, dude? How are you, man?
I'm great. I'm great.
Yeah, it's
I
always good to see your
actually,
smiling face in here.
yeah, I know, man. This is a win for me to just be on the call. All right. So backstory: I've been with Big Little Gym since 2021, which is crazy. And to give you guys some hope who probably have fallen off, you can always start back where you pick off. Like it's not out of reach. So I kind of coasted for the past 2 years working other jobs, but this year or past 2 months, we just ripped the band-aid off and said, F it, I'm tired of doing it. Let's actually listen to Will and his team. And so we've been humping the past 2 months. I think we increased our revenue by about 7,000 in a month and a half. My pipeline is full, and we did a bunch of rebranding, increased prices, redid our website, automated a bunch of stuff. And honestly, we're just putting in the basic work, right? Like this is not super intricate stuff. It's just following the simple stuff. And
Yeah.
we just got through a weekend of building renovations, and I'm sitting on 6 appointments today. So not looking back. So 2.5 years later, still here. Not looking back in 2.5 years, looking at the next 2.5 years.
Heck yeah, man. Congrats on that, dude. And shout out to you for like going back to the top, because that's really like we have a lot of people in the program that they'll go through stuff. They'll do like 30% of it at the beginning when that new shiny object syndrome wears off. They come looking to me with open hands, like, what do I do next? I'm like, well, have you thought about going back to the top and doing the stuff that worked before again?
That's it. That's it.
And what's funny is, like, I'm always creating new versions of that stuff. So it's always, every time you go back through it, you're going to stumble upon new stuff. But shout out to you for going back to the top. And it really is like chop wood, carry water, right? There's nothing we're dispensing here that is like magical fairy dust unicorn marketing stuff that's going to work today and not tomorrow. These are most of my stuff I give all like very fundamental, and you just gotta do it, right? So shout out to you, and congrats on the new branding. I know you were kind of like affiliated loosely with like some sort of like mini franchise type of relationship before. That was kind of I felt was kind of holding you back, and I think you had said that too at one point. And so for you to break out and assume your own branding like that was big. And I'm not by doing that, I'm not throwing any shade at franchise. I know we have some franchise gyms that are in our program. Franchises can be incredibly valuable if the resources are being provided to you that you pay for as part of a franchise. But if it's not, then naturally, like, sometimes it makes sense to chart your own path, right? So so congrats to you on that.
Thanks, man. 1,000%.
Yeah, man. Sweet. Who else who's gonna bring it home with our third win?
Christy.
Hey, Christy.
Hi, I'm new here.
Yeah,
I'm like maybe week 2. My first one's not business related, but I'm a newly grandma. You talked about your little one. My daughter had a baby girl 2 weeks ago.
I love it. Congratulations.
Yeah, I kind of had to reschedule my first call with you guys because it was the day. But so that's huge for me.
Yeah,
we
love the personal wins.
Thank you. Yeah. Yesterday started our with our Google campaign to raise our Google reviews, and I got 9 since yesterday up until this moment. So I've done 90 burpees. That's good. And then just starting the process of a big goal of mine is to just really streamline processes and procedures, and starting with coaches onboarding. So starting that too. That's my 3 wins.
Yeah, congratulations on all that. I mean, just the personal wins are awesome, but then also it sounds like you're getting after it on pretty much all sides of your business, on the marketing, sales, and the operational side, which is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm super excited to hear your forward way in the coming weeks and months as all that starts to come together. And I always think new phases of life like that, whether, I don't know, for me, it was like stepping into parenthood, and I'm sure it'll be at that next level. That seems to be like really subconsciously motivational. Like, it kind of, you're like, okay, we're like, another phase, let's get after it. Right. So super excited to hear what you guys have to share coming forward. So great. Awesome. Cool. Well, we're ready to move it forward, guys, for today's call. Let's get into some Black Friday stuff. Does anybody else, before I do though, this always happens. I got like 3 other people like, I want to share a win now. Does anybody else want to share one more? Do we have any others? Someone just gotta yell it from the mountaintop. If not, we're good. We can move forward. I'm just, I'll make sure.
I have a very quick win.
There it is. There it is. Juan. What's up, Juan?
How's it going? All good, man. All
Good,
good. So I just wanted to share that we've been running the new Reels training that you did for us. And we have 3 ads right now, 1 with a picture and the 2 with the ads. So the 1 with the picture is not going that bad. It's sitting on around $10 per lead. But the cheapest one is like running at $2.3 right now in Staten Island, New York. So our average right now stands in 4.5 or 4.3 with the 3 ads running. So that's the biggest win I can tell. I mean, it was huge. So thank you for putting that together for us.
Yeah. Did you say it was the new Reels training? Was it the new Reels one?
Yes, that's right.
Oh,
and this is also saying because I couldn't get a lady to do the lady ads. However, I did use the overlay video of showing one of the coaches with just ladies from our gym, and that's also tracking. So they're both working very well. Of course, maybe having a lady doing the whole video could even be better, but I mean, it's super good so far. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, congratulations on the wins on that. That's huge. That's been that I think people aren't really paying attention to yet, and you guys that are smart enough to be here should go and take a look at this, because I think I undersold it a little bit. I rolled it out and talked about it a little bit, but the new update to the ads training with the reels training, which I'll show you where it's at in the school group. Like, you should run this because I feel like we've kind of cracked the code on something that, like, and I think we have a little bit of runway because no one else is going to figure this out for a little while. No other gyms on the outside sphere are going to figure this out for a little while. But we've cracked the code on something that I think in 6 months to a year, like, it might be like, it's like if you could buy Bitcoin early, like, it's kind of what this is, because we're seeing what you described, like in really competitive markets that are normally very expensive, and even more so in some of the, it applies definitely downstream to markets that aren't expensive. They're getting even lower cost per lead on those. And it's also, go ahead.
So average, we are paying 1/4, just 1/4, 1/3 of what we used to pay 2 or 3 weeks ago before running the ads. And this is, I'm being low season. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. To do that, we're seeing these numbers like during November and December, cost per lead at $2-3, which is like, you'd have to go back with traditional Facebook ads almost like 5 years to get those numbers. And we're seeing this, and this is what's really interesting about this is we're using Instagram, which is, like, in the past has been, for most local businesses, really hard to see any traction with ads. You'll run the ads, people will see them, people will click, but you won't see a lot of leads. You'll see a high cost per lead. And this has really cracked the code. So we're able to see that audience that's on Instagram, which is for a lot of gyms, that's what they've been looking for. Is like, hey, how can I hit that market? Because it's a younger, more proactive market. And I didn't say it's younger anymore. I would say it's like, I would even say that the demographics have aged up to where it's kind of prime, almost right around 30 years old, which is where people start to kind of get into that phase of life where they're going to invest in like more higher quality fitness and, training and coaching versus, in their early 20s, they don't have any money and they don't see the value in like paying a coach because they think they can do it themselves. So, like, I do think it's ahead of the curve on this, which is awesome. So congrats on that one. I'm going to show you guys real quick where that's at. I think that's a really good thing to show everybody that's here that you guys should go check out. So I'm going to screen share real quick here because I'm going to do that today anyways. So you guys can see my screen. That come through okay? Yeah. Okay, cool. So if you guys go to the school group and you go into the classroom, and you guys that are in the pro group have access to this. If you're not in the pro group, this will be blocked out. So make sure you're in the pro group. This is the benefit of being in the pro group, is you have access to these trainings. If you go down to the paid marketing trainings, you have my traditional overview and ads launch, which you do need to watch this one. This one has the base structure, the skeleton of how you set up that campaign ad sets, which is the targeting and budget and everything. And it shows you how to set up everything, including the image ads that we've traditionally used. But then there's almost like a would you say, an amendment to this training down here that was just added, that Juan's talking about, which is this one right here, which is the Reels training. And I don't mess with perfection. Our ads have run really, really well a long time. So for me to even like roll this out, it means we're seeing a lot of traction on gyms that are running it. And so this is it. It's like I think a 29-minute like amendment, like addendum to that video, but it shows you how to shift the ads, 2 or 3 of your ads, or maybe all of them, over to this Reels model that hits Instagram, and it walks you through step by step. Like, it literally walks you through step by step, and it's got everything you need in here, from like how to script the video, because it does require you to do a video, because you're using Reels and you're using Reels and Shorts, and Reels and Shorts. Like, you have to, if you just go and like try to do the same ad you do with an image ad on like the feed placement on Reels and Shorts, it's not gonna do anything. Like, people will click on it and eat your ad budget, but you won't get leads. You have to build the media for the channel that you're displaying it on, which is, Reels and Shorts. So you have to build like a high engagement short and video. And I literally give you the script and like say the exact script. Like, some of you guys love to like change stuff, whether it be out of discomfort for doing it the way that we show you that works, because maybe it's a little scary to do it the way I tell you, because it is putting yourself out there or putting someone else out there on your team. Or maybe you just think you know better, so you're going to go ahead and change it. But then what I'm going to tell you is that when you change it, you change the outcome. So like, listen to Juan, listen to Adrian, listen to Mike Wilson. All these guys always tell you they're all of our biggest winning gyms. Like, and this is not about my own hubris. If I'm wrong, I'll tell you I'm wrong. But if I put something here, guys, it's very tested, it's very data driven. You can trust me. Okay, so just do it. Just do it as it's laid out, and then go to work. Chop wood, carry water on this stuff. It will work. It's when you change it, or you edit, or you half-ass the follow-up afterwards, is when it doesn't work. Okay. So so check this stuff out. This is worth checking out. I'd love to see more of you guys get it out there, because like, as you guys give me feedback, it's edifying it even more, right? It's like, oh, cool. Like another gym ran this and got more success. It's just more building confidence. And as you know, it goes, more people will jump aboard. So you're early. You have an opportunity. This is buying Bitcoin early, right? And especially with the new year, I think maybe running some test ads now in preparation for the new year. So you can really lean into this through late January, February, March is opportunity here. So cool. Awesome. All right, guys. Well, since we're already on the screen share, we're going to dive into today's stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about Black Friday. So here's my bold claim. You guys love my headlines, and I'm always I'm a big fan of copywriting and learning about this stuff. So I'm always like, okay, how can I scare people with my headline today? So here's today's. Black Friday can either ruin your life or change it forever or do nothing at all. Right? Really up to you. Right? You can do nothing at all and just let Black Friday pass by and not take advantage of this opportunity. Or maybe that's just a choice, right? Like you don't view it as an opportunity. You're like, okay, I'm good right now. I don't need to do anything. So completely optional, right? Up to you. My job here is to show you all the different opportunities and ways that you can grow your gym. You don't always need to use them all, but there's times where maybe you should, and you'll know better than I will if it's time where you should lean in, right? So Black Friday, what I mean by that, it can ruin your life or change it forever, is that you can definitely sell a bunch of stuff on Black Friday. You could go to your members who are paying you every month to have good retention. You could say, here's a big 50% discount to do a paid in full, and they can pay you. And then you can take that money and you can go give yourself a bonus and go shopping and invest in a new rig for the gym, even though no one cares about that and is asking for it. And you can bring all that revenue forward and not get a dime back out of it, right? That is a good way to ruin your 2024, is you're actually going to reduce your recurring revenue. You're going to invest in things nobody's asking for. You're going to bonus yourself out when you don't probably deserve it yet, because you haven't really, you as the owner and CEO and acting operator of the business, you earn your bonus when the gym is profitable and is generating surplus capital, right? That's when you earn that money. So what you don't want to do is run a Black Friday deal for a big discount to your existing members, because really that's where Black Friday serves the best and where they can generate the most revenue is to your existing member base, people that are already paying for you, right? Black Friday, most of the things being sold on Black Friday by almost every company are things people already buy all the time. And those companies are saying, hey, here's an opportunity to buy again with either a stack of additional value, a bunch of extra free bonuses and things like that, or to buy a whole bunch of it at once at a discount. And you're like, well, why would any business, knowing they're going to get recurring revenue, do that? Why would they discount their services in exchange for bringing all that cash forward if it's just going to soak up all their recurring revenue? Well, they do it because they're going to use what's called leverage, guys. They're going to take that money, okay? Because sure, could you say it's $200 a month over the next 12 months for the average member at your gym? That's $2,400, right? So it's $2,400 you can get, right? Now, say you do a Black Friday deal and you're like, okay, I'm going to make it $1,800. So we give a 30% discount, and we're going to give them our upcoming New Year Nutrition Challenge when that rolls out, and we're going to give them a supplement stack. So why would I do all this? Well, I'm going to give up the $600 because I have the intention of taking the $1,800 they're giving me in exchange for $1,600. I'm pulling all that revenue forward. I'm guaranteed I have it. It's a bird in the hand, right? A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So I'm going to take this money because there's no guarantee what's going to happen in 2024. It's an election year. I think it's actually going to be a rally year because I think they overcorrected on, this is my speculation, so do your own homework here, but I think they overcorrected on interest rates so they can draw them back about 0.5%. And when they do that, it's going to make the markets go wild in 2024. It's going to be good for everybody, but it is what it is. I don't know what's going to happen after that, but we know the games get played with politics and election years. So we know what we're looking at there, but we're not guaranteed that. They could also totally fumble the ball in this next year as well, and it could come crashing down. At the end of the day, I'm like, okay, cool. Well, if I can get the cash now, sure, I get 30% less cash, but if I could put that money to work and go acquire 3 or 4 or 5 more clients, I've given up 30% to go make 400%, right? So it's an arbitrage of cash. It's called leverage. Okay, that's your reason for doing it. Does that make sense? You guys following me? Are you guys good at 5th grade math? Simple algebra here. If it's even algebra, I think it's just simple multiplication. So that's all it is, right? You're giving up that. Now, if you can't multiply it, don't do it, right? If you don't have a plan for that, if you're not like, hey, I'm not going to go use that tools to go do what Will just showed me with the Instagram reel stuff so you can go acquire some customers. Or if you are going to go do that, but you're like, I'm going to go ahead and half-ass the follow-up like a lot of people do. I'm not going to smile and dial. I'm not going to follow up. I'm just going to kind of let it come to me. Then don't do it, right? The intention is to bring that cash forward, so you can accelerate the growth of your business, right? That's how businesses leapfrog. Businesses don't really grow linearly. I know this because I've built multiple successful businesses. Big Little Gyms here has grown to be a pretty decent, almost it's a mid-sized company, you could say now. It's not even a small business anymore. And we've never done this. We've never done this. The gyms never did this. My first company, which was a big company I built, never did this. What it did is it did this, and it went boom, and then it went like this, and it went boom, and then it went like this. And every time that step occurred was me leveraging opportunity to fuel the next level, next tier of the business and get on that tier. And I always focused on selling first. I didn't focus on, oh, I need to hire 5 people because we're going to be bigger, because I didn't know, and I've learned this the hard way, that like, I didn't know that when we got to that next level, that like things were going to be different than I thought they were. So it didn't make sense for me to build perfect systems and go hire all these people. Instead, I just sold until it hurt, and then I hired where it hurt, right? That's what you should do, right? So you bring this cash forward, you take it to accelerate and sell. You start breaking all the shit inside your gym, and you're like, okay, that's where it hurts. We need to hire a front desk person. We need someone to help with follow up and all this stuff. So we're not doing a good job of that anymore, right? And we have these same pain points here at Big Little Gyms, right? Big Little Gyms has gotten to a point where like our lead gen is so effective that like we are literally like our next hire is essentially like a front office person whose job is going to be doing a bunch of odds and ends, but then also like helping us with follow up, because there's leads that literally like beg me to set appointments and our schedule's full. So we're like, okay, we got to open up slots, but then we're waiting a day or two to get back to them. And sometimes we get back to them and they've gone cold, right? You guys do this with your businesses too. I know you do. You guys do it, and your businesses are only that big, right? So like hiring where it hurts is important, is my point, right? So anyways, the goal is to leverage opportunities like a Black Friday or other times of the year, or maybe a cyclical, you have a couple times a year where you do this with the intention is to bring revenue forward. It's also rewarding your existing clients, right? You're not taking anything from anybody by offering them the opportunity to save a whole bunch of money and they're going to buy anyways, right? It's just making sure they understand the value of what they're getting, right? Like this is something that you can offer to them, right? So that's why you should run a Black Friday offer, right? So the math really is simple in that, like, okay, am I okay with offering my members an opportunity to save, say 30%, 20%? I don't really think it's going to hit if you do anything less than like 25%. I think that's in the mind. If someone says, hey, do you want to spend a whole bunch of money you're going to spend anyway to only save like 10%? Some might take it, but you're not really going to get enough of a windfall, I think, to make it worth it. Like the idea of Black Friday, if you're going to do it, you want the offer to hit to where you can generate ideally, multiple 4 figures in revenue, ideally 5 figures in revenue, right? If you can get 5 clients to pay you $2,000 for the year, that's $10,000 revenue you have. You can do a lot of damage in January, February, and March, with $10,000 in cash to spend on advertising, right? If that's what you want to use it for, right? So, and of course, it depends on your path. I know some of you guys watching are smaller gyms and maybe you don't have that high of a ceiling. That's okay. I'm talking to the gyms that do want to get after it, maybe go from 100 to 150, or 150 to 200, or 200 to 300 in this next first quarter of the year, right? So in order to do that, because the math looks something like this, if I'm going to go and buy customers using paid ads in the first quarter of the year, I'm probably going to convert 10% of the leads I get on social media, because of the social media, the conversion rate on leads is just much lower than organic. With organic, it's much higher. It's like 30, 40%, but with ads, it's like 10%. So that means I need to buy 10 leads to get 1 customer. If a lead costs me $10, I need 10 of them, it's $100 to get 1 customer, right? So in order to get 50 customers, I need $5,000, right? It's like simple math, right? So that's what we're doing here, is just the math section. Hopefully I didn't just fly right over your head, but like that's the math of it, right? And so what you're doing now is you're generating revenue to fund the purchase of that client acquisition. This is what every business at scale does, as they look at what does it cost me to acquire a customer? What's the lifetime value of a customer? And how many of those do we need to hit our goals? And they do that math and they say, okay, looks like it costs us $5,000. Let's go spend the $5,000 and let's chop wood and carry water, right? Okay, cool. So there's the math of it, guys. Do you guys need me to break it down a little further? Does anybody need more clarity on that? Do we have any questions around that? I'm gonna check the chat here real quick. Mike Wilson said he got 120 leads on less than 1K using the real ads training. So you got 100. Nice, that's killing it. 120 leads. So 1K. What does that come out to cost per lead wise? That's pretty cheap. That's like $6 or $7, right?
It's like
Something
$8 bucks.
Yeah, that's killing it, man. That's killing it. And then you could definitely, I know
on
you,
the 10% conversion rate though, versus
and I think your video is you, right? It's you doing the video, isn't it?
I did one of me, one of Jonathan, and then I did one of my wife and one of a female coach.
Okay, cool.
And I say about a third of those are male and about 2/3 of those are female.
Nice. And are you running the male ads, male people to the male ads?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Men and then ladies to ladies.
Wow. So you're getting $8 cost per lead with going after the male market. That's pretty good.
Yeah. The guys was like $8 to $10 was the average. And then the females was more like $5 or $6 or $7.
Wow. That's killing it. Okay. Awesome. Good information.
I finally turned them off because there's a lot coming through.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's solid. Yeah. And then Dion just asked a good question. What if you need to do a price increase? Are you able to offer Black Friday along with raising prices? So it's actually the perfect time to do a Black Friday deal, right? And you don't want to, what you don't want to do is obviously stir the hornet's nest. Like you don't want to blast out there, hey, we're getting ready to do a price increase, guys. Oh, by the way, there's a Black Friday deal. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to do that. Like you want to kind of make subtle mention that like in 2024, you are preparing to do a price increase because like it's natural for all businesses annually to reevaluate their prices and the cost of doing business has gone up considerably. I think putting those things out there subtly, they're generally better in an email blast where those emails go out independently and where if anybody can take issue with it, they can email you back independently and it's a siloed conversation. You generally don't want to put those conversations just out on the social media somewhere where everybody can see them because, you know, what if a fire starts in the comment section of, I've been a member for 5 years and you're raising prices. I mean, you told me it was a grandfather lifetime deal. And well, you don't want to obviously get into that conversation. You rather those be one-on-one so you can kind of approach them with care as needed. Right. But once that email goes out, I think it's a good time to say, hey, like, you know, they'll kind of know because it's going out in an individual email and they've had an opportunity to voice themselves. And they can say like, hey, you know, just so you guys know, like I would be very subtle about this. I wouldn't make this the pitch, but I would just make it like another reason to take advantage of your Black Friday deal is that like, hey, in 2024, guys, like, you know, as you guys know, cost of doing business has gone up for everybody. That's not affected us. So we are going, you know, there will be a price increase in 2024. But good news, you buy the Black Friday deal, you lock your current rate in for the whole next year just by paying in full at this offer, not only at the current rate, but with a discount off the current rate, right? So that is how I would approach that. Of course, everybody's scenario is a little unique and a little bit different. So that's, you know, how, you know, you got to decide. But, you know, Mike, a Monarch, I think might have said in reply to that, what if the Black Friday deal was at the current rate, but everyone else got, okay, cool. Yeah, he's pretty much saying exactly that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all the more reason, right? Like, and a lot of you guys are in position you're in good position to make that ask, right? Or like at least get the word out that like, you know, it's a new year. Most membership subscription model recurring business models usually do reevaluate their rates on an annual basis, and it's usually around the new year. And so it's not, you know, if this was 2012, we were recovering from the recession and everything was depreciating in value like it was at the time, asking for a price increase back then was kind of like almost like you were going to get crucified by somebody because people were like, you're asking for more money in this economy. But now we have this economy where it's like, no, there's more free cash in the market than ever. The money supply is enormous. The media has beaten like a dead horse the inflation and cost of doing business and how businesses are struggling with this. So there's a lot of empathy in your favor to say like, hey, you guys understand we have to do this, you know, like it's not a bad time to do that, right? And so yeah, and Bill Russell just added, they'll lock in the 2023 rate for 2024. You're not saying that there will be an increase, but you get that. I like that as well, right? You're kind of without saying there's going to be an increase. I like that, Bill. Yeah, that's good, Bill. I like that. So you're subtly saying, without even saying there's a price increase, say, hey, lock in the current 2023 rate for 2024. Yeah, you know, you could subtly say, you know, because as you guys know, without saying you're going to do it, you could say, because as you guys know, inflation affects all businesses and we aren't immune to that. We're going to have to reevaluate our stuff. So if you want to make sure you lock in this current rate, because it will give them a sense of FOMO as well. You know, because the last thing people want is when that does land and that unknown of it landing and not knowing what it is will kind of, you know, propel them. Right. So yeah, good stuff. Really good conversation there. I like that. More reasons behind the why, which is what we're discussing at the beginning of this video. Right. Okay, cool. So going back to the doc here. So how to do a Black Friday special, guys. So like, what is the offer? What should you offer? Now, I'm a big fan of like using the price anchoring and decoy method to do your Black Friday offer to sell ultimately what you want to sell the most of, right? So I'm going to show you, this is also going to kind of unveil step 3 as well at the same time, which is the funnel, which I've pre-built and will give to you guys if you request it. here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. Where's it at? There it is. Okay. So this is the Black Friday funnel, and I've been working on this for you guys. And what this has the pages already pre-built out for you in Gymnetics. We'll just patch them over to your account. This is what you guys get for showing up to the call and being here, is you get free stuff done for you. How awesome, right? Rewarding you for good behavior. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to roll out some sort of splash page prior to, right? So I'm going to pull this up here for you. This is the splash page. And it's got a ticker on it saying there's a certain number of days left. It's got, some verbiage already written for you, some copy. Will's written your copy for you already. On Friday, November 24th at midnight, we'll release. Oh, and it's even got typos in it. That's how you know it's authentically, genuinely Will. Is it you gotta proofread it for typos. Just asterisks. There's gonna be typos if Will wrote it, but it's gonna be it's gonna be persuasive. So, at least they know about didn't write it. You'll have a limited number of deep discounts available. First come, first serve. Get your invite. To get your invite and see the deals, put your contact info in the form below. Once the card opens, we'll notify you to get your deal. And then we have a form in here, and I've even pre-built a separate Black Friday form that you can use this form in a separate workflow and do, if you want, you can set up a workflow to send them daily emails leading up to Black Friday if you want, to kind of do like a nurturing type of thing if you want to do it. But I've even done the graphics in here. You just need to swap out your logo. So that's all you got to do. That's the splash page. Now we get something like this out this week to be like, hey guys, if you guys want to know what this is, don't just put it out there. Put that you're going to have something and say, if you want it, make them take an action, right? Make people take an action. That's very, very important in taking control of the sale and making people want your thing. If you put it behind a step and a simple step, hey, just, enter your info below so we know you want it. And your excuse there is hey, we don't want to spam you if you don't want this stuff. But if you want this, in exchange, now you have the opportunity to build pressure behind your Black Friday deal, right? And that's in your follow-ups now. And you can add tags to these people, they opted in for Black Friday, and you can do a big text blast and big email blast leading up to it to those people who requested it to say, hey, it's open now, because you definitely need to have urgency and scarcity with this. This can't be a lazy, again, this is the time of the year where you're allowed to do this. No one's going to be mad at you if you're pressure, 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 buy this now. It ends on Friday. It's everybody they buy stuff from in the world is doing that this week, that weekend, right? So it's okay. This is one of those times where you guys can pressure people. I know some of you guys struggle with the sales ends of things and being I don't want to high pressure my people. This is one of those times where you have permission to, right? And if they don't want it, they don't have to opt in. It's okay, right? So you have this splash page here, pre-built for you. You also have a cart open page. Okay, so when the cart opens, now you could text blast them this and say, hey, the card is open, right? And this page is already done for you as well. Now this is going to get into the offer. Okay. And just so you know, to request it, I'm going to do like I always do and do a post in the group and make you guys respond. So that's how I'm going to do it. So make sure you guys go into the school group and respond, because I want everybody else who's missing out to see you guys all commenting because you saw it. I'm creating urgency, creating exclusivity when I'm doing that, right? It helps people stay engaged. So I'm doing what I'm teaching you how to do. So anyways, Black Friday, cart closes in X number of days, right? So this is on Friday, right? You can adjust this timer as well. This is already in the funnel builder, and you're going to have a good, better, best. And I didn't totally flesh this out here. Well, actually, no, I did. It's best is to the left, good is to the right. I just kind of backwards, but your best is your highest ticket offer here. Okay. And this is meant to be kind of expensive, right? This is your annual paid in full. And then bonus. Black Friday is all about the bonuses, right? So I just put some ideas in here. You guys can, of course, edit this. If you start stripping it down and it doesn't look that great, if it doesn't have a big value stack like this, you're just not going to sell that much of it, right? You really have to stack stuff up. It should be overwhelming, right? They should be oh my God, how can I say no to this, right? You can't just be hey, you saved 20%. Oh, and we're going to give you one extra thing, right? You can do that. You'll get some takers. Don't get me wrong. And that's a good way if you don't want too much volume to throttle it back, is maybe you take away some of the value. But, there's a good example for your best offer, annual membership, right? 2024. And then you're stacking things on that have a nominal cost of to fulfill on from there, right? So your new members, this is for a new member, obviously, but you can get rid of this here if you're not going to use it for a new member. That's where you could do this. You're bundling in your new member foundations program if you want to put this out there, right? And where I'd probably offer this is if you did some lead gen stuff and got them sat down, then I'd offer them this. I don't know that I would push this out to the public to existing or non-members, right? You could play with it a little bit, but you're going to get a very low conversion rate. And you'll probably spend a lot of money on ads to get it out in front of people at a rate that would actually convert. It's better to do this with like existing members. And you can also let existing members know, hey, if you have friends that are considering this, they could take advantage of these deals too. And if they're a new member, we'll give them our foundations onboarding program free in addition to all this, right? So let your members go do the lead gen for you on this. That's where I would probably try to pull in new members on with this, right? So you're going to edit this. New member 6 week or New Year 6 week challenge, right? That's coming up. That normally has a whatever $300 value, right? You're going to give them that too. You're going to give them a supplement stack if you want to, right? Again, this is up to you how much value you want to provide, but your cost of Thorn supplements are probably around like 60% of the resale value. So like, it's $180 in value, but it only costs you $100 and they get that too. Now, here's the cool thing about this is you're giving them things that they're going to want to re-up on, right? That's the idea, is like you want them to buy the supplement stack for free because it's like a good drug dealer, right? A good drug dealer gives you the first dose free. Because when you get the first dose, you get that first hit, you're like, oh man, I need that again. I got, yeah, okay, yeah, right. And it's also reciprocity, right? They're going to want to buy it at full price when it re-ups at the end of the first month or whatever the case might be, right? So like you're actually a little bit self-serving here, even though you're giving it away at cost, or like you're giving it away for free included with the thing, but it's you're coming out of pocket on the cost, right? And then the bonus could be, hey, you also get December free. So you're paying for all of 2024, January through December. Oh, and guess what? You get December also of this year included as well, right? Total value, $3,080, just $19.97, right? Limited to 10. And have this scarcity. Now, whether you choose to sell more of them than that, you can, but have some scarcity in there. And if you do genuinely have a limit, right? If you don't say you don't want to liquidate all of that recurring revenue, with your Black Friday deal, limit it to a certain number of people, right? And then they can click this. This will take them to the checkout page, right? And then better, will just be a 3-month version, right? And then similar stack here, right? You want them buying the supplements, so just give it to them. Just give it to them as part of the deal, right? Like generally, most people who get it out of the deal, like especially they've been thinking about it, they're like, oh yeah, I get that, sweet, that's awesome, it's included, sweet. You're gonna make that profit up, especially with like Thorn, where they have the dispensary and like the auto renewal and all the supplements. Like, if you guys aren't on that, you need to get on that. Like, ditch whatever crummy supplement company you think is the best that doesn't have a system like this, and just use Thorn. Get with Aaron on it. Like I'm telling you, like, and that's not like Thorn comes to our events and they help us out with a couple things, but believe me, they're not paying me to say that. If they sucked, I wouldn't recommend them. Like, what you get there and the quality of the products are great. I take their products, really good stuff, right? So that's the only little pitch I'll give you about Thorn. But they will help you generate revenue because the way that they do the reorder is like no one's doing it like that. It's almost automated. And then same thing, you can give a month of December, right? And then here's your good, which is like month of January, unlimited membership, new member foundations program, month of December, unlimited membership, right? So what you generally want to do is you want the value of the offer to be somewhere in the range of 3 to 5x what you're asking in like retail value, right? Like, what would this be worth in the open market? Not even what you sell it for, right? Because your foundations program might not be $400. It should be. And that's why it's worth $400. You might sell it for $200, but it's a $400 value, right? So like you want this number to be 3 to 5x what this number is. If it is, you will have some takers. Okay, you will have some takers. So you'll want to edit this as well. The funnel is editable. When you click edit, you can go in here and you can edit page. And you can edit all this. You can click this. You can set the end date, right? And the cart closing end date is different from the cart open end date. That's why the 2 pages have different amounts of time left. It's because you're going to go pretty much Black Friday, like midnight of Thursday through Cyber Monday, right? And there's actually a little trick you can do with like the email sequence if you really want to get fancy with this, is do a cart close on the end of day Friday, close the cart, and then open it back up for Cyber Monday and be like, hey, for those of you that missed out, we're opening the cart back up for and like really do some stuff to kind of twist the knife over the weekend. Be like, hey, you guys missed out on this deal. And then you open it back up for Monday and be like, hey, we decided to open it back up because of popular demand. So we're opening the cart for 24 hours on Cyber Monday. So if you want to get fancy with your urgency and scarcity, you could do that. That's up to you guys, how far you want to take it with the urgency and scarcity thing, but it is going to be a big driver here. And again, this is the time of year where people do that. if I had a client that gave me a hard time because I'm pushing my Black Friday stuff, which one of you guys I know is going to get somebody that's like, so, they gave me a hard time and you're going to lose sleep over it. And I'm going to be like, don't lose sleep over it. If that guy has a problem with you pushing stuff on Black Friday, then he needs to go find a hole to hide in because it's going on everywhere. Like if they're on the internet, it's happening, right? You're just trying to save them some money at the end of the day, right? So real quick, let me answer some questions in the chat here. Let's see. Sarah said, will bundling with nutrition coaching be something you suggest? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, give them the bod squad. You want them doing the bod squad. Here's the thing about the bod squad that very few people understand from the sales end. So something we learned back in like the 2016 to 2019 area, that was like when the 6-week challenges were all the rage, right? Like they were all the rage. We ran them at our gym. They did very, very well. And they brought people in and we gave them in that offer a fitness, nutrition, and accountability offer. And then we did it for the first year, and we realized pretty quickly after the first 6 weeks that a lot of people would churn. We had a higher churn rate. We were really, really good, but we still had a higher churn rate than our normal membership, right? And so we were like, rather than like blame it on them, we were like, what are we doing that we can do better? And when we started asking more, we started doing more exit interviews with clients, and we're like, oh, like they really want what we originally sold them the whole time, right? So we would have people do the 6-week challenge, and during that process in the 3-week mark, we would change their expectation because we knew that they probably weren't going to hit whatever goal they were after in 6 weeks because like it's not realistic a lot of times, right? So we would say, hey, we know that you didn't set up to do this just for 6 weeks. We knew that we both know that this is a lifelong endeavor, right? Right. Even though like they're not thinking about this, they're not going to say no, right? They're going to say yes. Okay, cool. So we would tell them like, hey, so for this next couple months, so you're going to stay aboard this next couple months. Your job is to go and implement what you learned in the 6-week challenge. And in the next quarter, we're going to run another 6-week challenge. We call it the bod squad. You need to sign back up for that. Right. And what's funny is like we realized retention went way up when we kept bod squads a continual part of our offering. Every 2-3 months we were running one. And almost every member that came in on that front end offer stayed members longer because they would always re-participate and they would pay to be part of the bod squads, right? Because they liked that part of it. They needed that accountability. They wanted that structure. And say what you want. And I agree with you. If you're like, hey, that's not how you do fitness. It's not about 6 weeks, blah, 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 blah. Well, Nancy, welcome to the real world where people don't have any patience. And most people want it done in 6 weeks. Now, your job as a really good service provider is to sell them what they want, but give them what they need. If you can't do that, that is not their fault. That is your fault. Okay. So that's what we did. And when we've changed it that way, we didn't have the issues most people have with those types of offerings because we retained almost everybody because we brought them in on what they wanted, but we used that opportunity to change their expectation and give them what they need, which is like ongoing fitness, nutrition, and accountability and breaking those beliefs. Right. Okay. So, so that's what you want to do is you want to get that in there. And my point with that was like offer the bod squad free, get them in a bod squad because they might be adverse to paying for that out of pocket. But if you're like, hey, do the bod squad, it's included, right? Now they're going to do a bod squad. They're going to have an awesome experience and they're going to want to do every bod squad thereafter, right? So all these things have a nominal cost of fulfillment for you, but have a high return because when you expose them to them, the supplements, the nutrition stuff, like they're going to want to keep paying for that every time you roll it out, right? So you're kind of giving them what they want to get what they need, right? Use these things to your advantage, right? It's human psychology. Yeah. And then Ryan asked, do we have yes, I do. Yes, I'll show you. Cool. So there's your offer and that's your funnel. And then when they do click this will take them over to the next steps in the funnel. Now this was thrown together in a relatively short period of time. So do your due diligence in going through the funnel. Let me go back to the screen share here. Sorry. I realized I'm not screen sharing with you guys. There we go. So like go through this when you set it up after you get it and just double check all your stuff, like run through it yourself afterwards on your phone and on your computer. Because like this was put together in the last week and I'm pretty good at this, but I'm not perfect. So, just double check it, like make sure it all works and make sure that like when you go to roll out your cart sequence that like it doesn't break. Right. And like be proactive and watching. It's a big deal, right? I feel like you do this right. Like you should be like up and awake at midnight on Thursday. Like you're probably gonna be shopping for Black Friday stuff anyway. So you're going to be up. So, watch what happens and make sure like, if someone says something's not working, you can get on there and get it fixed real quick because I've had those issues in the past where like I set it up and then I messed something up in the cart sequence and, all that good stuff. So just double check your stuff and stay proactive with it. Last thing I'll show you is the product page because once they do click that, it'll take them to the product page here. And I've got the checkout, confirmation, and cart close pages for you. So all you do when it's closed, just move the cart close page up at the top. And as long as you share with them this link, which you're gonna have to point a domain in here, which you can do. You can jump on the Friday call with Joey, or not the Friday call, the Wednesday call with Joey, the tech call tomorrow, and be like, hey, show me how to point my domain in here if you haven't done this. You might need to go buy a domain, or you can create a subdomain of your existing domain. Ideally, just buy an extra domain. Like, it's good to have for funnels. Like, if your gym is OYL Fitness, buy joinoylfitness.com and use that domain for all your funnels and gymnetics, and publish all your funnels there. That way you have in here under settings a domain you can select that you can use for your funnels. That way you don't have to worry about trying to publish it on your existing domain and messing up all that. Yeah, it's easier to do it that way. Checkout page looks like this. Okay, and you're going to need to upload your products in here. Okay, so this is your page. They check out, they enter billing info, it autofills. They can put their email in there. Step 2, and then it'll take them over to all the products. So there's no products in this one, so you have to upload your products. You will have to link your Stripe account to Gymnetics to do this, but it is the easiest and fastest way for checkout. You could embed like your gym management software's checkout thing here if you want. I'm not a big fan of those because they require them to like create an account and do all this bullshit, and it's like they're just trying to buy something. It's Black Friday, and like make it easy. Like make it so they can check out in like 5 minutes. Don't make it so like, yeah, it just don't get me started on those things. You don't want to be clunky. You want it to be easy, right? So there's that, and then confirmation page here, and their cart close page here, right? Which you could say here, you can make this an opt-in page if you wanted to say, hey, it's closed. If you want to inquire about joining the tribe, please fill out the form. And you can use this for lead gen if it's on the outside, right? Like leave this up for a couple of days, and sometimes you'll get people opting into it, or you'll get a member that missed the Black Friday deal because they were traveling for the holiday, and they'll be like, oh, I filled, and then you'll see it come through on Tuesday, and you can reach out to them and be like, hey, you know, it's closed, but if you can sign up today, I'll get you the deal, right? So now you can use this to signal who missed the deal, that wants the deal, and you can reach out to them independently and say, hey, you know, do you want to do the deal? It's today only, right? Like use scarcity and urgency to your benefit with this, right? And this is good practice. More you guys need to do more of this stuff. Most of you guys' marketing is very passive, and that's not like good marketing has a balancing act going on of like urgency and scarcity, and then also kind of like the hey, I don't need your business, come find us if you want us kind of thing, right? It's both. You'll see that a lot in my stuff, and that's because it's who I am, right? Like I genuinely won't pitch you. I will build a ton of value with you. I will give you the shirt off my back, but when it's time for you to buy something from me, I will be like, buy this stuff. You're stupid if you don't buy this stuff. And you're going to be like, I am stupid if I don't buy the stuff. He gives so much. Buy the stuff, right? Like that's that's what you should be building with your audience, right? So this is your opportunity to be like, buy the stuff, right? So anyways, there's that. Let me check the chat, and let's see what other questions we have in here. I love the questions today, guys. Keep them coming. Justin, how would you suggest handling paid in fulls that want to cancel, refund? I don't know. You don't? You paid in full? Put a clause in there. You can put something in the if you want, put it on the sales page, put fine print underneath the form, right? That they're accepting this is 12 months paid in full. They are getting other products with this too, so like that stands on its own as being more of a product than just a service, right? You're productizing a service, so it could be in the wording of the agreement there if they pay in full. I know some states are different about that, but also there's ways around that with like they're actually buying this and they're getting this part for free. So what they're buying is these things, and those things are products and they are not refundable because they consumed them, so that's to your benefit. I wouldn't also stress about that because it's probably not going to happen. And if it does, it's going to be a very small amount. I know, Justin, you're in a military town, so maybe that can handle, but I would just those people will ask you, and if it comes up, be like, hey man, that's I understand, but we gave you a discount. If you want to also pay back your discount, then sure, I'll refund you. Right. Like that's how it works. Right. Because they're getting something, they don't get the Black Friday deal 6 months from now when they decide they want a refund on it because they're moving. Right. Like they still have to, they got to honor their agreement. Right. So anyways, there's that. Juan says if they pay a full contract, they can do a medical pause with no medical note pauses. I mean, you could also say, hey, like you don't lose it whenever you come back to town. It's here waiting for you. That's another thing. So yeah, you might have to get clever there. Juan says, I'd rather have them book a chat with me to sell the sales console instead of doing the cart. How can we do that so we don't have to? buy it and then save their spot. Yeah, so you could in that case just get rid of the product, get rid of. I would probably get rid of on the checkout page. I would just swap the checkout for a scheduler. That's all I would do, and be like, book your consult or whatever you want to call it. I don't know why I call it a consult. It's not a consult, but reserve your time to purchase your Black Friday offer, right? That's what I put. So that's what you could do there, Juan. I like that. I do like the idea of doing a sales sit down with it. It goes a little bit against the urgency side of like, okay, now we got to make them do a booking and they can get cold feet on that. But I know you're just the way you're selling it might be required. I think it could work though, because then you can make it up because you might be able to upsell a few people that maybe want the mid-range offer to the upper end offer, right? Sarah Murphy said, I was going to ask about how do you do an annual if it's against your state's laws? Again, your state's laws, look into this. Your state's laws are often for a service, right? Remember that your offer is being bundled with products. So you can find out how to do your verbiage there, and it's probably going to be in your agreement. And this might be better to talk to someone who's crafty on the legal end. Because at the end of the day, that could be used against you. I think it's stupid that states do that. If someone's paying you in full for something for a discount, they shouldn't be allowed in 7 months to be like, oh, I want a refund for the difference. It's like, well, no, I gave you a discount because you paid for 12 months in full. You don't get the pro rata share of the same discount. You lose the discounted portion. You get a refund on whatever the nominal I don't know. You'd have to figure that out. Cool. Kristen said, yeah, I'd have to give my membership away for free with this offer, charging for everything else. Yeah, that could be the bonus, right? For Black Friday, you're buying this and this part is free, right? That'd be kind of like a way around it, right? And you just need to adjust the pricing in these offerings to match your pricing. I can't collect dues for more than 3 months. That's a bit tricky. Some of you guys have got interesting things going on with your states, so figure that out. Also just put it up against the odds of it actually happening, right? Like how many people are actually going to come calling for this, in like 6, 7, 8 months? If it's pretty low, then just run with it anyways, right? And at the end of the day, if it does happen in 6, 7 months, you figure it out then, right? The idea is like this revenue you're generating, like if you deploy it in the first quarter of 2024, there should be no reason why like you haven't made hand over fist return on it. So even if someone asked for 100% return on what they paid, if you took their money in the next 4 months and turned their 2K into 10K, then who cares if you give them the 2K back? You made 8K, right? At the end of the day, that's the intention of doing this, going back to the original why of why should you do anything like this in the first place. If you can't multiply it, then don't do it. Right? At the end of the day, like the goal is to take this cash and go put it to work. It's not to give yourself a bonus. It's not to sit on it for the next year and liquidate that cash, pay bills with it. It's to go and generate more customers that you don't currently have. Right. And so there's that. And then Aaron said, if you offer a product, it nullifies it. It's a loophole, includes 2 pounds of protein. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure every state's different. And I'm sure if someone wants to pay to take you to small claims court, it's probably going to cost them half of what they're going to get back. I don't think it's going to escalate, if I'm honest. If anything, it's probably going to come down to a conversation, you and that person figuring it out, because those service type of deals with those states are generally more pointed towards like big contractor service agreements that are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, where contractors take payments up front for things that are like 6, 12 months out in production. And then, like it's meant to protect the consumer in that situation. To even go to small claims court, it costs money and it costs time, and no one's probably going to do that. I haven't heard of it being a widespread issue at gyms. No one's likely to escalate that. They're probably just going to wave it in front of your face when they think it's time to come asking for it. If they bring it up, and you can say, okay, let's have a conversation about that. If you think it's worth escalating, then you have the right to do that. Let's have a conversation, because here's why we did this, and here's what you paid for. Here's how much of it you used, and here's what I'm willing to do. Right. So Adam says, I'm in Cali being sued for this very reason for $500. Give him the $500. give him the $500, and when you hand it to him, when you move the money out of the way, there's a middle finger hiding there. That's what you do. Tally, though, is a rare exception in that like you can get sued for anything there, because the local laws even kind of perpetrate almost like that kind of stuff. So some of these deals would be for current members. Would you offer something for new members in a different way? Yeah, like I said earlier, I would, if anything, use your existing members to propel the offer outward. I don't know. I mean, you can say we have a Black Friday deal. I mean, honestly, for Black Friday, I would just use Black Friday as an excuse to do lead gen, right? So I wouldn't actually like advertise this funnel outward and let people go directly to it and buy. I would instead just say we have a Black Friday deal and then just have that work the same way you do lead gen the rest of the year for them to book a time. And when they come in, then you tell them about your Black Friday deal. Because there's no amount of like selling you can do on a page to ice cold traffic that doesn't know who you are, that when you say $2,000 for something, it's going to sound like a deal, because like you need to sit down and unpack that for them. They need to know what it normally costs. There's a conversation needs to be had. It needs to be sold, right? So I would not like drive traffic directly to your Black Friday. Cold traffic who are not members directly to your Black Friday, this Black Friday funnel. I would give this to existing members. I would tell existing members, like, hey, if your friends want to take advantage of this, they also get our onboarding, our foundations onboarding, our on-ramping. That's normally $400 included free in addition. So they can save this money too. That's the only way I let it go out directly. Otherwise, I would just advertise, hey, Black Friday at such and such CrossFit, book your time to come on down and take advantage of the special. Just do follow up, book them to come in. And then when they're there in person, where you can unpack the value of like what they're saving, what they're getting, then you can offer it to them. That's what I would do it. There's no shortcut with that. There's no like, send them to a page, they're going to buy stuff. Maybe you'll sell one, but you're probably going to spend just as much in ads trying to do that, right? I would lean into more of a lead gen sales process. Okay, cool. And then Juan said, what would you do?
I'll answer something really small on that question.
Yes, please do.
Back on the previous, on Sarah's, one of the ways I'm wording it is get 4 months free. So like that's a way you can word it outwardly, where you don't have to like post prices. And then like you said, then you do the lead gen, you do follow your normal process. And then, yeah, if they sit down and they want to buy it, sure, give them the deal. But like 4 months free, or like find ways to word it that doesn't include dollar amounts. That way you're not posting your prices publicly and online. That's how I'm gonna do it, specific to Sarah's question.
That's good. Yeah. Because if they're getting essentially 4 months free, because say they're paying whatever it is, so say 7 months in, they come calling for it. There's technically 5 months remaining on the agreement, but 4 of those are free. So they really only get a refund on the 1 month remaining, right? If like you were to have to honor that.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even mean for refunds. I just meant for public stuff to non-members is what I meant.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yeah, that's good. Sorry, like advertising for non-members and what you would post publicly, rather than being forced to send them to the landing page or different stuff. So their prices are posts, just be like, hey, 4 months free. And then when they're like, how do I get 4 months free? I'll be like, you buy 8. Okay,
right.
Cool. You know?
Yeah. I like that too. That's good. That's a good point. Yeah. Dangling that out there. Get 4 months free, get our New Year Bod Squad challenge included, get our Thorn supplement stack free, get our XYZ. Don't even say what it is. Just say all those things and then generate leads off of that. And then when they inquire, okay, great. Oh yeah. Like, come on down. Let's talk about it. I'll show you what it is. Right. And then like get them booked in your calendar to have a conversation and sell them on the rest of it. Right. Yeah. That's fantastic. Good stuff. So you're more focusing on what do they get. Right. And you could run ads or something like that. You know, it's not really tested. So, you know, we haven't tested ads for an offer like that, but I mean, can't hurt to try if you got a little extra, if you have a little extra, like, ad spend money burn in your guys' pockets, and you want to like, hey, I'm gonna go throw $1,000 at this Black Friday thing and run the same ad and just throw in there, you know, in the offer, like, you know, star get this, star get this, star get this, star get this. Don't say what it costs. Leave that curiosity be what drives them to get in the door, right? Okay, good stuff. A lot of good conversation on this, guys. Okay, now I think it was Adam or someone asked for about a follow-up sequence, right? So you would have to go and build the workflow off of this, and then we'll last a little bit. We'll share here, and then we'll, you know, do any extra Q&A for you guys. By the way, next week, guys, we're going to do the IG growth funnel. It's a new thing. We're going to go deep on what we call IG growth funnel. So it's with the breakthrough on Reels. There's been a heavy focus lately on getting your Instagram dialed in. So it's built more like a sales page, right? Like where people go wrong with Instagram is like, or any content really, is like you make a post and you put that post out there in a vacuum thinking like people are going to see it and like it's going to be a funnel in and of itself. And that's not how it works. You're going to get likes, you're going to get engagement, you're going to get clicks, but it's all vanity metrics. We've tracked a lot of traffic off of organic content, and it doesn't generally, like, no single post on its own generally generates that much interest. So you can like go out there and like crush it with your content. You can make beautiful content, and it's probably not going to see a big return on your time if you go about it individually. And it is a mindset thing partially, in that looking at the way you curate the content on your page, it has to work like a sales page. You got to remember how people use Instagram is they see a post that catches their eye. When they see that and they're interested, we all do this, right? You see this, then you go click on the bio, and then you start to look at the feed. And the feed is just like a web page, right? And the web page, if you guys look at the websites we build them a specific way. And we build them a specific way because that way converts. Now, if you were to go and put that same philosophy through your Instagram bio, you would start to see people taking action off of your Instagram bio. But instead, what everybody's doing is you just got a bunch of random posts that are all unrelated, just being peppered throughout it, right? There's not a unified narrative going on there, right? And that is how people consume stuff. We all do it, right? And so that's what we're going to be doing next week, is we're going to be doing a deep dive on IG growth funnel. It's going to be super potent. You guys should all definitely run it. So let's go back into the workflow on this. I'm just going to do a quick little walkthrough on this. Screen share. And by the way, guys, do not put support tickets in for this stuff. If I give you a free funnel and show you how to do this stuff, don't put support. This is bonus stuff. What that does, that bogs down our support channel. If you want help on this value added bonus that I'm giving you, then you show up to the Wednesday call with Joey tomorrow and ask him for help then, right? Because what happens when you guys all put support tickets in about like not knowing how to do a workflow is like, now Joey's got to go book a time with you to show you how to do this stuff. And he's got to go do that with 30 people. And then we get severely backed up, right? And then, you know, what happens is we got to go hire more people. And guess what? It costs us more, which ultimately passes on to you eventually, right? So do yourself and everyone a favor and show up to the Wednesday call tomorrow. If you're like, hey, Joey, show me how to do what Will showed us yesterday on the call. He's not here, by the way. So you might have to tell him, like, hey, I need to know how to do a workflow off of this form. I'm going to briefly walk you through it. But part of you getting good at your business is learning how to use tools like this. It's not hard. Okay. Like, don't use the excuse that you're not tech savvy. 2024, it's not going anywhere. I know guys that are 70 years old that crush it with technology that weren't raised in it. So don't use that excuse. That's just you make an excuse to hide. Okay. So just preface. I can't say words right now. Jump on the Wednesday call if you want help with this stuff. Don't put support tickets in about the Black Friday funnel. Okay. All right. If you do, I'm going to tell Joey to tell you to get on the call on Wednesdays. Okay. All right. So you have in here a form, right? So if you go to the cart, the splash page here, you have this form. Okay. And if we open it here in a new tab, I'm going to open it and I'll show you. All right, so you have this form down here, and if I click on it, it's the Black Friday funnel form, right? Okay, so you have Black Friday funnel form. So if I go to forms and I go to the builder, I could type in, oh, it's there at the top. It's already in a folder for you. So when we patch it over to your account, it'll have a folder. It'll be in a folder here, nice and organized for you. You click it, there it is. And I think this actually needs to be white text because it's on a black background. So we're going to change that. There it goes. And just a re-opt-in, because if you have clients, members that have been with you a long time that haven't gone through A2P opt-in, this is your opportunity to get them A2P compliant as well. So it's going to help with your deliverability in the future, things like that. So there's your form there. Okay, so you can edit this to do whatever you want on it. It's a simple form. That's all. That's what it is. And then you probably want to edit up here in the top corner the options right here, the message. This is what it gives them on that, because that page doesn't take them to another page. It's just an opt-in page. Unless you want to create a whole other page just to say thank you, I would just use the opt-in message here, and it's going to say, thank you for requesting our Black Friday offer. You will receive an email shortly leading up to Black Friday offer release, right? Now you can either manually send those emails just as it builds up to Black Friday, or you can build a workflow, right? So let's go back, and we're going to go to automation. And this is where you can build create a new folder, and you can call it Black Friday 2023. And there it is right there. And then I can come in here and create a new workflow. I can start from scratch, get there. Okay. And then I can call it Black Friday workflow 2023. None of this so far is super hard, guys. When you guys tell me you're not tech savvy, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they just aren't savvy at anything, because this is super easy. I'm breaking balls now. Okay, form is Black Friday 2023 form. There it is. You can title this if you want. Black Friday form submitted, and then save it. And then right here, first action, I would tag them. Create a tag, add a tag, Black Friday 2023, add new tag, add Black Friday 2023 tag. I like to name all my actions. That way, when I go back in here, I'm like, okay, cool. I know what that is. I don't need to open it up to see what the action is that it's doing. It just says it right here. So like, okay, cool. It adds a tag, right? Cool. And then I want to do an app notification to myself and my team. So I'm going to go notification here. I'm going to say internal app notification, title. And you can say first name or full name. Just do full name. Full name wants the Black Friday deal, right? And this will just notify you. You can put click to view the contact. This is a notification that's going to you, right? And you can just say, what do you want to redirect to? The contact, the user type, all users, a particular user. We're just going to put it on all for now. Save. You also do a text message to yourself if you wanted to. I'm just going to keep it simple with an app notification. And then you can send them the first SMS if you want. Say, first name. We saw you opted in for the Black Friday special. This cart opens on midnight of Thursday. What are the dates? 23rd? Yeah. 11/23. So you can put the link here if you want, right? You can go here and go link at the below link. We will send you reminders and notifications here and via email. Okay, cool. So there's the confirmation text that goes out. And if you want, you can also do a confirmation email. And you could build out a whole sequence. Now, the trick here that's kind of hard and why it almost probably makes better sense from a tech standpoint to just put reminders to send out an email blast to everybody on the list as it leads up is because it's really hard to retroactively go back from a specific date in the workflows. We're going to eventually have that functionality where you can put a date and be like, hey, we want, because like as people opt into this, they could be opting in 3 days out and then 5 days out or 7 days out. So everybody's starting at a different point, and you obviously don't want them getting all these emails in too condensed of a period of time. So it's almost easier to just put reminders to yourself to say, hey, it's, the Wednesday before Black Friday, send the Wednesday Black Friday email that I'm going to show you in a minute, and just do it via a text blast or an email blast using the tags. You have the Black Friday tag. So like you can just use the tag to do a blast, right? So we're going to save this. Now that we got them tagged, you're going to want to publish this, of course, so it goes live. I'm not going to do that. But once you have people Black Friday tagged, which I can show you how easy this is to do, is we're going to go to our Black Friday page here. And I'm going to opt in on it. Let's turn that workflow back on there. Workflow, there it is. Publish workflow. And there it is. So it's on now. Okay. And here's our page. And when someone goes to this, first, there it is. Phone. There we go. I opted in. It's going to give you the confirmation text. Okay, so the confirmation text, you're going to want to make that white text. It looks like that's kind of goofing up a little bit. So you'll want to go back into your form and make the confirmation message there white text, which I'm actually going to just do now because this is actually the stuff I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So rather edit it now and save you guys the headache of having to worry about that. So let's just do it here. If you guys don't mind hanging for a second. Options, font color, white. There we go. Save. Cool. So I just opted in. I fixed that. Here's our contacts. That should be right at the top because I opted in. Well, I'm not because I've opted in before on this. There I am. So what I can do is I can actually, when I'm ready to do a text blast, I can just come in here to all my leads and I can go tag and I can sort it by the Black Friday 2023 tag, and it's going to pull up everybody who has that tag, which it has not tagged me yet. So I'll have to see what's going on there. But if everything's set up properly, let's see what's going on here. It's always when I'm showing people stuff that nothing wants to work. It's my curse. Execution logs. I must not have had it published in time. But if it's up and running, you'll get those tags on there, and you can filter them by the contacts tag, and then you can select all the people with the Black Friday tag, and you can send an email here, right? Now, check this out. We're going to use some AI to help us write those emails. We're going to be resourceful. Okay. Now, let's see here. Email sequence. I got to find it. Black Friday. I think it's this one right here. There it is. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I said, what are some great Black Friday deal offers for a CrossFit gym to attract? And it gave me some ideas. And I said, okay, cool. Can you write me 10 days of email for CrossFit gym Black Friday offers that builds up to a cart on Black Friday, cart close on Saturday, cart reopen on Monday, and a cart close on at day's end on Monday? And it said, certainly, here's a 10-day email sequence. Now you're going to want to edit these. But it even has a headline. It has, you can use merge tags with Gymnetics. And on the Monday before Black Friday, you just go in there, find all the people that are tagged with that tag, and send an email blast out with this email. If you want, you can send a text out too and say, hey, we just emailed you about Black Friday. Check out that email, right? And then here's a Tuesday, here's a Wednesday, and you can see these have a lot of urgency. I hope you're excited as we are about the upcoming Black Friday event. This is your chance to take your fitness journey to the next level. We are here to tell you it's an opportunity you won't want to miss. And you can rewrite this stuff as you want. These are daily emails. If you want to go every other day, you can. It's really up to you. You know how frequently you want to use these, but this was super, super easy. And if you guys want it, I will go ahead and just put it in the doc here and then share the doc with you. There we go. Okay, so there's that. And you could tell it to make changes if you want. Okay. So email, Black Friday email, pressure sequence. There it is. Cool. Copy and pasted. It's all in there for you. It's not formatted, but hey, I saved you some clicks and some having to do it yourself. So there you go. So yeah, you just copy and paste these, right? You just go in here to Gymnetics, click all the people you want, click send email. Okay, proceed. Type the from name, type your gym name, type your from email. Subject is just going to be this subject from this first one, so big news, Black Friday is coming to blank, right? And this kind of looks like an email, the way these are written, looks like they're probably gonna go out to everybody. And I would make sure you insert your link, right? Like, and change the call to action. It says stay tuned for exclusive blacks. I'd say we've opened up our opt-in page, our interest page, go opt in on it. So that way you can get the updates on the Black Friday, right? That's what I would do, okay? If I had a lot longer time to get this together for you guys, I would have pre-built all of it for you guys, but this is like 75% of the way done. You guys just need to basically just do what I mentioned there. Okay, so let's go to chat and check out some final messages, final questions here to wrap up today's call. Let's see. Juan says, would you do this to catch up in revenue with a bad past month? That would not be my reason for doing it. My reason for doing it's always going to be to bring revenue forward to leverage, right? You never want to bring revenue forward just because you want the cash, right? It's going to be just because you want the cash because you have a leverage point with it, right? The leverage point is to use it to go buy more customers. If there's not an intention to do that with it, if it's just, hey, I just want to get paid or I just need to refill up the bank account, then it's not a good reason to do it. Juan, I know with you're probably going to go run ads with it. So it probably is going to be a good thing if you need that capital. And then let's see, Sarah says, these deals are for current members. Okay, she already answered that one. Joey adds this in for me. Please have him include it in both my sites. Thanks. Got you. Would you recommend adding the text message opt-in? So I'm going to put a post in the school group, Bill. You guys that want this, I'm not going to go off of this chat here. If you guys want it, you got to go respond in that post, because I'm going to tag Joey in that post, and not Joey, another person on our team, Kasim. He's going to go and copy that to everybody who responds. Okay, so I'm not going to. He's not here, so he's not going to see this. So don't. Whatever you say here is probably going to be missed. So just post whatever you need to post that in there when I ask you to comment. Just makes it easier for us to get all that over to everybody. And then if you need it for both locations, Bill, just respond in that thread in school and say, hey, patch this to both locations, CrossFit Cleveland, and I forget the name of your other one. But just put them both in there. That way they know. Seriously, I wrote down the steps as you went through. But like the other video calls, will this be, yes. If you're in the pro group, this will go into the recordings in school, right? So this will process after I close it out. And if you're looking at my screen share, if you go to classroom and then you go to the pro group live recordings, in there is all of our recent recordings, including last week's AI tools workshop, the 1031 power hour, the 1024 staff training. It's all in there. So the recordings are always there. You got to be in the pro group to have access to those. So there's that. And then Samin said, I may have missed it. Where do we go to request to have the gymnastics Black Fridays? Yeah, so we're going to put a post. I'm going to post in school here shortly saying like who wants the Black Friday funnel. And if you comment there, I'll make sure you get it. And it's because like we have to one by one patch them over. And so you comment with your gym name, and that's where we're going to pull them off from. If you make a separate post, like I want the Black Friday funnel, it's probably going to get missed. Like comment in the specific post I post. Yeah, so you can see how I am leveraging my tools to get you guys going there and engage. That's what I want, right? And in exchange, I'm going to give you guys this, but you have to do it that way, okay? Mike says, perhaps with the email SMS blast, you can schedule it to automatically send at midnight to everyone with the B. Yeah, you could schedule these. That's a really good point. You could schedule these. So you can go in here in the email and you can schedule at a specific time, and you could schedule out the next several days of emails, right? So send all at a scheduled time. And then just there's your start on right there, and you pick your date and time, right? So that's what you can do. You schedule those out that way. Eventually we'll have it in workflows where we can go backwards from a specific end date and time, but it's just not there yet, and that's much trickier to code and figure out. So for now, you just schedule these here using the email sequence to everybody with the Black Friday tag, right? Pretty much. Okay, cool. Let's see. Cindy said thanks. Yeah, you're welcome, Cindy. Bill said, here's a good thing to keep in mind when offering a paid in full offer, discount a year's worth of month revenue by 20%, roughly paying 25% interest on borrowing that money. Just food for thought. It is, yeah. But considering that like your return on investment, your return on forward investment is multiples, hundreds of percents. That's leverage, right? Leverage is always borrowing money at a specific interest rate and getting a return over and above that interest rate, right? So 25% interest on borrowing that money, that makes it sound worse than it actually is, but it just is what it is. At the end of the day, if the return is 300% because you're going to deploy that for cash as forward client acquisition capital, then it doesn't matter, right? At the end of the day. And sure, can you get better interest rates elsewhere to borrow cash? Sure. But you can also just bring capital you're going to get forward anyways, right? Versus taking on debt, right? So think about it, and like, yeah, it's 25% interest, but it's 25% interest. And also, like, what you're not calculating there as well, Bill, is like the loss on if those clients were to cancel or become non-members. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush, right? So, and also keep in mind those people that pay in full, they're going to pay in full again next year, so you're going to get that bump again. So really, there's some variables here you're not taking into account with calculating interest rate. That's just face value. It's actually a much lower interest rate when you calculate forward captured capital versus having to chase it, right? Okay. And also the return on that. Stephanie says, my website isn't done yet. Can I set up landing pages and do that? Yeah, these are separate. You need a domain, a separate domain. So you're going to want to go to GoDaddy or wherever you have your domains held. You're going to want to go buy a separate domain, like a join whatever gym.com. You're going to go into Gymnetics and you're going to add that domain here, and you can build landing pages here in here. These are separate from your website. These aren't anything to do with your website. Your website's built standalone. It's siloed. It's a WordPress site. It's built on its own engine. And that's because that's built to do a specific thing. What we don't want to do is take our website and muddy it up with a bunch of landing pages for a bunch of random holidays. That's what using a separate domain and using Gymnetics is for, is to build those separate landing pages. Cool. Yeah. Cool. You probably don't want the subdomain active. Yeah. Okay. And then you can also set it up as a separate domain, not a subdomain. Yeah, I would just get a separate domain. It's like $8. I wouldn't do a sub. I mean, you could do a subdomain. That's fine too. It's just trickier on the DNS stuff, and most of you guys aren't going to know how to do a subdomain off your DNS. If you do, then by all means do a join dot whatever gym.com, or just buy a domain and point it into Gymnetics here and use that for your funnels. That's what everybody does. And it's nice to have that separate domain that can also get ranked and possibly get some traffic on it as well on your search engines. So good stuff, guys. That's it for today. That's all I got. Does anybody have any last minute questions they want to take themselves off mute and discuss or bring up or curious of? Yay or nay?
Sorry. Well, I have a quick question. Just regarding doing a Black Friday deal for like new members. Because our setup, like now since reading more stuff within school, we've switched over to having a no term option, but still our most popular option is still like the 12-month term. So we can't really do like a promo on our current members because they're already on a committed term. And that base is already $200 a month. Like, and that is sort of like what we want our average monthly to be. So what is your, like, because I've also read a lot of your stuff on like, okay, well, we don't want to discount things for new members because we don't want to discount our service and make our service seem less valuable. So what's the best way to go around? And if we want to do a Black Friday deal for new members, but not make it seem like here's our service that's like a shitty service that we're going to discount now to hope that you'll stay on. Like, what's the best way to kind of go about it, or is it not worth it to do?
Yeah. So, no, I agree with that. Yeah, you definitely should not be offering discounts most of the rest of the year. That's what makes it special, is that you are going to offer something, right? Okay. Like this is that one time they can, because we don't do that here, right? Like that's so like this is the one time they can. So that's kind of the mindset behind it, is like, yeah, if you're discounting stuff like this all the time and saturating your market with those kinds of offers, then yeah, like Black Friday is not going to be anything special. So this is an opportunity for them. Now, there's a couple of questions there. There's one that had to do with the existing members with the contracts. That's kind of up to you. If like, you're probably going to get that money if your rate of capture on that's pretty high and you keep most of those people that are on contract, you don't get a lot of people that try to wiggle their way out, then I probably wouldn't mess with it. I probably wouldn't offer to them. Now again, it comes back to the end reasoning. That's why I started this call with the reason for running a deal like this and giving a discount is because you have benefit, right? Like you have benefit, and your benefit should be that I get this capital forward now and I can go and deploy it and make more money with it. If you don't know that there's going to be upside for you on that, then I wouldn't run a Black Friday deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you're like, hey, I could use 10K because I got a plan for the first quarter of 2024 that I need 10K in revenue. I need to do 10K in operating capital because I'm going to go, fill this gym up. We're going to use ads to just drive tons of traffic. And we're going to really get on our horse with the follow-up and sales. Then, you have a couple ways you can get that cash, right? You can borrow it and take on debt, right? And pay it back that way. You can do a Black Friday deal like this and bring that revenue forward from your current members, and in exchange, give them that interest in the form of a discount. It's also an opportunity to get those members by bundling it with those other services like nutrition and supplements on those products, right? You're giving them the first dose free. So there's a lot of other upsides you got to think about with a Black Friday deal. It's not a super clear answer for everybody, right? You got to kind of sit down with your pen and paper and say, okay, what's the upside downside here? And it's not just sell a thing, get the money. That's actually, like I said, if that's your reasoning for doing it, I would not do it.
Yeah.
Unless, it's got to be like, can I get bundle some of these other things I want them to start buying anyways and get them there. Also bring some cash forward. It could just be, say you don't want to sell a ton of this. It could just be like your same normal price, but hey, we're going to just stack some stuff on top of this. Right. Okay. It could be same full price offer. So you charge $200 a month. It's $2,400. But if you pay in full for Black Friday for your year, you'll get the upcoming Bod Squad challenge. You get the supplement stuff. We'll throw in some personal training sessions, like things that like are beneficial for you, for them to experience, because they're going to buy more of. Right.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about there. If you don't want to get too like too discounty.
Because I like Mike Wilson's idea of like, okay, the X number of months free. It was just like, I don't know. I just wanted to see your take on it because of the way that our stuff is set up, and like we can't just kind of break contracts now because that's like not really the best thing to do. but and like we are sort of like steadily increasing like our rates, but because only a few people, like we give them all the option and everyone still just goes with, you know, the 12-month. I was like, if we did it for kind of just for new members, is that like using it to then leverage up? Yeah, because I'm now like hearing about like the ads reels and stuff, something that I thought about because I'd seen like, you know, people posting other reels and just seeing how popular they've been. I'm like, maybe, yeah, this could be kind of a cool thing to like use for the gym. So if we wanted to, you know, put in a lot more of our like
Capital.
put in a little bit more, yeah, to invest in those ads, like having some upfront, having some paid in full now would be nice. I just didn't know, yeah, if you think doing it for new members isn't, you know, is or isn't like a great idea.
Yeah, you probably won't sell a ton of new members anyways. Like I said, it's not really I mean, I would use the verbiage of Black Friday, like the seasons, like whenever you run ads, like the season's the reason. And like you don't actually have to make an offer. You can just say we have a Black Friday deal, right? Like just saying that will get people to take interest because they're like, oh, what's their Black Friday deal? I've been thinking about joining their gym. And like you're just using that to get them to opt in and the same way you would always get them to opt in, right? Like they don't know the difference because they're not already opted into your stuff, right? Yeah. So if you were going to run some stuff out there for Black Friday, I would just use the seasonality as the reason, right? Like that's all you really need to do generally with ads. You don't need to get like into the discounting nature of it in the ad itself. And then when they come in, then you just show them the offer, right? And then like, and honestly, like a Black Friday paid in full like this, a lot of people won't take it, but you can downsell them into your regular membership. You just be like, okay, so you don't want to pay $2,400 today. That's cool. We have a $200 a month option you can set up with today. What do you think about that? And most people are going to be like, yeah, I'll take that. $200 out of pocket. That's great. I'll do that. You know?
Okay.
You're price anchoring them a little bit, right? So it never hurts to throw offers. The more offers, like the businesses that make the most money make the most offers generally, right? Yeah. And like the offer they don't need to be good offers, like just making offers, which is like just saying we have something, you should come check us out, is often enough. So for someone like you who doesn't necessarily need to discount anything, that might be the way to go about it.
Okay. That's a good idea. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. It's a great, everything I'm saying here, guys, is a gray area. You guys are all at different spectrums of this gray area. Some of you guys are in a space where like, yeah, I want to, freaking fire sale the first quarter of next year and I need capital and like I do want to bring some cash forward and I want to sit on a pile here going into the new year. And so we're going to go super, super hard. And that's going to be the most aggressive variant, right? Is like super good value stack, big discount, stack it up. Naturally, it's going to get the most action off of your existing members, is that, right? An opportunity that they otherwise will not get ever because you don't discount, and that's going to get them to take action. Or you back that down a little bit and say, hey, and the outcome you're going to get is going to be in relation to the sexiness of that offer, if you will, right? Like if you're giving them 3 months free and bod squad and nutrition supplement stack and some free personal training sessions and all these things, and like that's going to some people are going to be like, a bunch of people are going to be like, yeah, let's take that, right? But it's going to pull a lot of recurring revenue off the table that you'd otherwise make a higher profit on. That's why the intention of it needs to be, okay, I'm giving up maybe 20% in recurring revenue here, of profitability on that recurring revenue. I'm only doing this because I'm going to go make 200, 300, 400%, which is like, if you have that kind of operating capital to really get after the new year, it's really easy to turn 10K into 50 or $100,000. It really is. Like, when I say easy, I should say simple, not easy, because it's simple in like theory and math, not easy in regards to like, yeah, you're going to have to be really, really good at follow up and you're going to have to sell your ass off in the new year when you deploy that capital, because it's not like people just come in and lay down. Like, you still got to hustle. So the thing is, you have the one resource that you don't, to even get that process started, which is the cash, which is good. So that's the whole intention here, guys, is like, I give you the most extreme scenario to run with. You guys can run with that and then just back it down accordingly to your demands, right? If you make a really weak offer that's not that sexy, don't be afraid if a lot of people don't buy it. And if you're okay with that, and you're okay with just a couple people taking it because you can generate a couple extra $1,000, then perfect, right? Like at the end of the day, you guys can see where that lands based on the call we had here today, right? So that's it, guys. We'll end it there. Fantastic call. See you guys on next week's call. Great turnout. I think we had like 47 of you guys on here at one point. Hey, let's do this before we go though, because it's such a big group, which thanks for turning out. I want to do like a photo. I want to do a photo of the group here, and you guys need to all get your like smiling dialing faces out. So if your video is not on, turn your video on so I can see your face, and we're all going to do a big wave and the cheesiest smile we can possibly do. Let me get my screenshot thing ready here. Okay. So Juan, where are you? We need your smiling face, Juan. All right. 3, 2, 1. We got it. We missed Juan. We're gonna do it again, Juan. Come on.
I mean,
You're
sorry.
late. We can't not have you in the photo, Juan. All right, let's go with Goofy this time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, thanks for playing ball, guys. Have a great rest of the week. Let's go crush it with this stuff. Next week, like I said, we're doing the IG growth funnel stuff. You're not going to want to miss that. Tune in for that. This recording is going to go in the school group. Have an awesome week, guys. See you later.